when Nigeria's richest real estate tycoon took his daughter to a dusty park. He never imagined a barefoot homeless girl would be the one teaching her. He offered to change her life, but she vanished without a trace. Years later she returned, and the truth she revealed shook the entire city. The afternoon sun poured molten gold over Lagos, painting the bustling city in heat and shadows. Cars blared their horns on Awolowo Road. Hawkers weaved between traffic with trays of plantain chips and cold sachet water balanced on their heads, and the smell of roasted corn lingered in the air. From the top floor of a glass and steel tower, Chief Tunde Adewale looked down at the city like a man surveying his empire. Owner of one of Nigeria's largest real estate companies, his life was measured in zeros, on contracts, bank statements, and in the price tags of his custom suits. His reputation was ironclad, ruthless in business, untouchable in wealth. But that day, fate was not interested in his boardroom victories. Fate had chosen to meet him somewhere far humbler. Tunde rarely had time for school runs. He left such duties to his driver or to his wife. But that day, a last-minute business deal had fallen through, and he found himself free for an hour. When his 8-year-old daughter, Kemi, begged him to take her to the park before heading home, he reluctantly agreed. They arrived at a public park. Nothing fancy, just a dusty playground with a few swings and scattered shade trees. Tunde sat on a bench, scrolling through emails on his phone, while Kemi ran to join other children. It was then he noticed her. A girl, no older than 14, sitting cross-legged on the ground, her bare feet covered in dust, a tattered school uniform hanging loosely on her frame. Her hair was tied back in uneven braids, but her face had the kind of quiet beauty you almost miss if you're not looking closely. And she wasn't just sitting idly, she was teaching. Kemi had wandered over to her, curiosity sparkling in her eyes. The girl had taken a stick and begun drawing numbers in the dirt. 2 times 2 is? The girl asked gently. 4. Kemi beamed. And 3 times 3? 9. The girl's smile lit up her whole face. Good. You're very smart. Now let's try something harder. Tunde frowned. His daughter was speaking to a stranger. He stood, ready to intervene, but something stopped him. The way the girl explained each problem was patient, almost professional. She used examples from daily life. Mangoes, naira coins, even the number of steps between 2 trees, to make Kemi understand. This wasn't random play. This was a lesson. After a while, Tunde walked over, his shadow falling across them. Kemi looked up, her face glowing. Daddy, she's teaching me maths. She's really good at it. The girl quickly stood, her eyes lowering in respect. Or was it fear? Good afternoon, sir, she said softly. What's your name? Tunde asked. Aisha, sir. Where's your school? She hesitated. I don't go anymore, sir. Why not? A faint sadness flickered in her eyes. My parents, they passed. I live with my aunt in Ajigunle, but she said there's no money for school fees. Kemi tugged at his sleeve. Daddy, she's really smart. Can we help her? Tunde's instinct was to dismiss it. There were thousands like her in Lagos, and you couldn't save them all. But something about Aisha's calm confidence stayed with him. She spoke like someone who had tasted education and refused to forget its flavor. Do you want to go back to school? He asked suddenly. Aisha's eyes widened. Yes, sir. More than anything. He studied her for a moment. If I pay for your school fees, will you promise to study hard? She nodded quickly, her face a mixture of shock and hope. It should have ended there. A good deed done, a photo opportunity for the press. But as he reached for his wallet to get her details, a voice from behind interrupted. Leave her alone, rich man. An elderly woman, wrapped in a faded Ankara wrapper, hobbled toward them. Her sharp eyes darted between Tunde and Aisha. This one, the woman said, pointing at Aisha, is not ordinary. She will either bring you great blessing or great trouble. Decide carefully. Tunde almost laughed. Lagos was full of superstitions. He handed Aisha his business card. Come to my office tomorrow. We'll talk." The girl held the card like it was gold. That night, Tund told his wife, Funk, about the encounter. "You want to pay for a homeless girl's education?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. "Yes, she's smart. She could do something with her life." Funk shrugged. "Your money, your choice. Just remember, not everyone you help will be grateful." But for some reason, Tund couldn't get Aisha out of his mind. The next day she didn't come. Nor the next. A week passed and he forgot about it. Until one evening, Kemi ran to him with tears in her eyes. "Daddy, Aisha's gone. They said her aunt took her away to another city." Something in his chest tightened. He didn't know why he cared, but he did. He even sent someone to Ajagunal to look for her. But no one had heard of the aunt or the girl. It was as if she'd vanished. And so life moved on. Deals were made, towers were built, and years passed. It was on a rainy Tuesday afternoon, nearly 7 years later, that fate knocked again. Tund was at a charity gala, his tuxedo crisp, his presence commanding. The event was raising funds for education in rural areas, and a young guest speaker had been invited to share her story. When she walked onto the stage, the room fell silent. She was tall now, poised, her braids neat, her voice steady. "Good evening," she began. "My name is Aisha Yusuf. 7 years ago, I was a homeless girl in Lagos, teaching children in a park because I couldn't afford to be in school myself. But one day, a man stopped to watch me. That day changed everything." Tund's wine glass froze halfway to his lips. It was her. And when she finished speaking, she stepped off the stage and walked straight toward him. The sound of clinking cutlery and polite chatter faded in Tund's ears. All he could hear was his own heartbeat, heavy, insistent, as Aisha stopped in front of his table. "Good evening, Chief Adewale," she said with a small smile. Her voice was deeper now, but it carried the same calm confidence he'd heard in the park years ago. For a moment, he couldn't find words. "Kemi told me you vanished," he finally said. I looked for you." Aisha nodded slowly, pulling out the empty chair beside him. "I know, and I'm grateful. But you see, my disappearance wasn't an accident." She began to speak, her tone steady, though her eyes shimmered with memories. "The night I met you in the park, I went home to my aunt. I told her about your offer. I thought she'd be happy. But instead she became angry. She said rich people never help without wanting something in return. She said you would take me away and never bring me back." Tund frowned. "That's not true." "I know," Aisha said. But she didn't believe it. "The next morning she sold what little we had, took me to Kano, and left me with a distant relative. Then she disappeared." She paused, looking down at her hands. "For years, I worked as a cleaner in a small roadside school just to eat. But I listened to the teachers. I borrowed books. I studied at night under streetlights when I couldn't pay for kerosene. People laughed, but I didn't care. One of the teachers saw my effort and got me a scholarship for secondary school. From there, I never stopped climbing." Tund listened in silence, his chest tightening. He had been born into privilege. This girl had carved her future out of stone with bare hands. Aisha took a deep breath. "Chief, there's something else you should know. I didn't come here tonight by coincidence." Tund's brows knit together. "What do you mean?" She reached into her handbag and pulled out a thin envelope. Inside was a faded photograph, a much younger woman holding a baby. "That's my mother," Aisha said softly. "And this," she pointed to the man standing beside her mother, his arm around her shoulder, "is you." Tund froze. The man in the picture looked exactly like him, but younger, his hair untinged by gray. "That's impossible," he murmured. "I've never." "My mother's name was Mariam Yusuf," Aisha interrupted. "She told me once before she died that she fell in love with a man she met in Ibadan. He was already engaged, but they cared for each other. He left, not knowing she was pregnant. She never told him." The photograph trembled slightly in her hands. "Chief, you are my father." The room spun. Tund gripped the table. his mind racing back to his youth. His university days, a brief romance with a shy, intelligent girl named Miriam. He had indeed left abruptly when his parents arranged his marriage to Funk. He had never looked back. And now, here was the daughter he never knew existed. The homeless girl he had once almost helped. I didn't know, he whispered. I believe you, Aisha said, her voice gentle. But knowing now, what will you do? Tund looked around. The gala was still in motion, waiters serving, cameras flashing. He stood abruptly, drawing attention. Ladies and gentlemen, he announced, his deep voice carrying across the hall. I came here tonight to support education in Nigeria. But I've just learned that the young woman you heard speak, the one who fought her way from the streets to academic excellence, is my daughter. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Even Funk, sitting at the far table, stiffened in shock. I will not only sponsor her further education anywhere in the world, Tund continued, his voice cracking with emotion, but I will also establish a foundation in her name, to find and educate children like her, children with dreams too big to be crushed by circumstance. The applause that followed was thunderous. Later that night, away from the crowd, Tund and Aisha stood under the soft glow of the gala lights. I don't expect you to make up for the lost years, Aisha said quietly. But I'm glad you know the truth. I can't change the past, Tund replied, his eyes damp. But I can walk with you into the future. If you'll let me. She smiled faintly. I will. And so, in the city where skyscrapers met the slums, where chance meetings could turn strangers into family, a new story began. One built not on wealth alone, but on second chances, forgiveness, and the unbreakable will of a girl who refused to stop learning.